Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we continue following the emotional journey of Diep and CEO James, the couple who have walked through fire together to build their dream, DJ Agriculture. After countless struggles, sleepless nights, and quiet tears, they've finally achieved what once seemed impossible, the biggest contract in DJ Agriculture's history. An opportunity that promises to take the company beyond national borders and onto the global stage. But behind those shining agreements, behind the clinking glasses and polished signatures, could something else be hidden in the shadows? Is this truly the breakthrough they've waited for, or the beginning of a storm they never saw coming? Stay with me as we unfold this next chapter of their story. The early morning sky was spotless, clear, pale blue, and full of promise. Sunlight spilled over DJ Agriculture's brand new warehouse, gleaming across rows of glass panels, turning the building into a fortress of gold. Inside, the hum of machinery blended with the laughter of workers. The air vibrated with energy, a rhythm of progress, renewal, and quiet pride. The scent of fresh paint, sawdust, and coffee mingled together, the fragrance of creation. At the center of it all stood James, holding the day's operation plan. His sharp eyes followed the movement of forklifts carrying crates toward the loading yard. Beside him, Diep, dressed in a crisp white shirt, her hair tied neatly, looked on with a quiet smile. Her expression was a mix of disbelief and gratitude. "Do you remember," she said softly, her voice trembling a little, "that first day when we only had that tiny rented house? The roof leaked from every corner, but we still packed each order by hand just to ship on time." James chuckled. "Of course, I do. That night, we worked straight till dawn, trying to balance the books without enough money to buy packaging." And now, he gestured toward the towering rows of finished products, their sleek bags gleaming under the sunlight, each stamped with DJ Agriculture's proud golden logo. The light brushed over them like a blessing, proof of how far they'd come. Diep nodded, her eyes glistening. "It's all been worth it, James. Every drop of sweat, every moment we nearly gave up, brought us here." From the distance, a familiar horn blared. John, their longtime partner, drove a large truck through the gate, the first shipment, ready for delivery. He jumped down, beaming. "The first trucks are rolling out, boss. Everything's ready." James and Diep looked at each other, no words needed, just a shared smile, a silent acknowledgement of years of struggle finally paying off. Diep reached out and touched the embossed logo on the warehouse sign. "DJ Agriculture isn't just a company," she whispered. "It's hope. For farmers, for dreams we once thought were lost." James squeezed her hand gently. "This," he said quietly, "is only the beginning. As the trucks rolled out through the wide gates, the sun painted long golden trails on the freshly paved road, the road leading toward a future they had only dared to imagine. By midday, the yard was alive with movement. Workers checked boxes, sealed crates, and loaded trucks with practiced speed. Every sound, the whir of machines, the chatter of teams, seemed to pulse with victory. And yet, amid all that excitement, a subtle tension lingered, an unspoken awareness that something was changing. Diep turned to James. "Can you believe it? Just a few months ago, we were still going door to door, pitching our products. And now they come to us." James smiled, his voice low but steady. "It's all because of you, Diep." "You believed when no one else did. You saw what DJ agriculture could become." Diep shook her head, tears sparkling in her eyes. "No, James. It's because of us. Because we both refused to stop believing." A breeze drifted through, carrying the faint sweetness of dried ginger and pomelo chips. Across the floor, John and his team were labeling boxes bound for Japan, their laughter echoing off the metal walls. James glanced at the business card in his hand. "Mr. Hong, Southern Region Representative, Agritech International." "Agritech," he murmured. "They're massive. If this contract goes through, DJ Agriculture will finally go global." Diep hesitated. "But that also means we're entering a much bigger game. Every step must be careful now." "Something about this feels fast." James didn't respond. He only looked out toward the road, where Mr. Hong's car had just disappeared into the sunlight, his heart lifting with pride but shadowed by an unease he couldn't quite name. That afternoon, as the sun dipped low, a sharp ring broke the office's quiet. James answered, his voice slightly breathless. "Mr. James," a confident male voice said from the other end. "We've reviewed all your samples and reports. Agritech International is deeply impressed by your quality. The board has approved your first contract, over 500 tons of dried produce, with 50% advance payment. If you agree, our legal representative will arrive tomorrow morning to finalize everything." For a moment, James couldn't speak. His heart thundered in his chest. Then, slowly, he whispered, "We accept." Thank you, thank you." As the line clicked dead, he stood frozen, until the realization hit. This was it. The moment they had waited for. Diep rushed in, dusted with flour from the warehouse. "James? You look like you've seen a ghost." "They chose us, Diep," he said, his voice trembling with joy. Agritech agreed. "They're paying half up front. 500 tons. For a heartbeat, time stood still. Then Deep's hand flew to her mouth, and tears filled her eyes. Oh my God, someone finally believes in DJ. They embraced, laughing and crying at once as the last rays of the setting sun poured in through the glass, a golden blessing over everything they'd built. Outside, John burst in, waving a checklist. Boss. It's true? James nodded. Get ready. They're coming tomorrow to sign. This is our new beginning. Applause erupted, echoing through the warehouse. But as Deep turned toward the desk, her gaze lingered on Mr. Hong's business card. Something about it didn't feel right. That evening, James's mother arrived at the gate, carrying a basket of ripe oranges and a warm lunchbox. I told you, she smiled gently. If you two stayed patient, heaven wouldn't turn its back. James took the basket, smiling softly. Deep bowed and quickly cleared space for the food. His mother turned to her with warm eyes. I used to worry. I was afraid James might give up again. But seeing you two now, I couldn't be prouder. James reached for Deep's hand. You helped me believe again, he said quietly. DJ Agriculture isn't just a company, it's the proof of everything we've survived. The golden light streamed through the window, falling across the DJ logo on the wall, gleaming like a medal of hard-earned triumph. The next day dawned clear and bright. By the time the clock struck 10, the office was spotless, documents aligned, contracts ready, pens polished. Two men in black suits arrived, their demeanor composed. We're representatives from Agritech International, one said politely. The board is deeply impressed by your quality. If everything proceeds well, we plan to expand your shipments to Europe next quarter. James smiled, shaking hands with measured confidence. The air thrummed with pride and tension. Every line of the contract was reviewed, every figure precise. Then came the moment, the signature. James glanced at Deep, who gave a reassuring nod. He signed. Click, the camera shutters captured the moment. DJ Agriculture, a small, rural Vietnamese company, had officially entered the global stage. As the sun dipped low, the orange glow bathed their faces in gold. No one noticed that beneath the final signature, a faint clause glimmered quietly, waiting. That night, laughter filled the small home. Little Emmy sat on the floor, sketching with crayons. Her drawing showed the warehouse, the trucks, and her parents holding hands. I drew Mommy too, she said proudly. Deep kissed her forehead. Yes, sweetheart. Mommy will always be there, with you and Daddy, watching our dreams travel far. James watched them, overwhelmed by a peace he hadn't felt in years. This warehouse, he said softly, isn't just our hard work. It's the beginning of your future, M.I. Everything we've built, it comes from love and faith. Outside, the night breeze rustled the garden. The warehouse lights shimmered faintly in the distance, a beacon of hope. But across the city, in a dimly lit office, a phone call was being made, one that would change everything. Late that night, James sat at his desk, reviewing the signed contract once more. As he flipped to the last page, his eyes caught a single line printed in italics. Party B, DJ Agriculture, agrees to grant Party A the right to manage and coordinate the warehouse system in the event of financial fluctuation or operational risk. He frowned. Probably just a protection clause, he murmured. Still, something tugged at his chest. He stared at the words for a long moment before laughing quietly to himself. I'm just being paranoid, he said, locking the papers away. Outside, the wind rose. The moonlight spilled across the floor. One page slipped loose from the drawer and fluttered to the ground. At the bottom, tiny words shimmered faintly. Temporary coordination clause effective within 48 hours after payment. A small detail. A quiet spark. The beginning of a storm no one saw coming. The next morning, the warehouse buzzed with energy. Trucks bearing the Agritech International logo rolled through the gates, sleek, modern, gleaming in the sun. Workers watched in awe as men in suits began issuing instructions. Everything looked efficient, professional, almost too smooth. Diep stood by the doorway, smiling with pride. DJ Agriculture isn't the same anymore, she said softly. James nodded, shaking hands with the Agritech representative. Thank you for believing in us, he said sincerely. The man smiled back, firm and unreadable. We always trust partners who share our vision. We hope this collaboration lasts a very long time. Laughter and applause followed. Cameras clicked. No one noticed the fax machine in the corner. Its paper slid out quietly, printing a message from the bank. Temporary access to payment account granted to Agritech International. No one looked. No one saw. As James stood smiling in the sunlight, unseen threads were already tightening, quietly, invisibly, around DJ Agriculture.